The global economy is bracing for impact. Financial markets are in turmoil and the uncertainty is palpable. Investors are on edge, and the stakes couldn't be higher. A tariff storm is brewing. The impending tariffs have created a sense of foreboding, much like dark clouds gathering before a storm. The world is watching closely, anticipating the fallout. Former U.S. President Donald Trump's deadline for imposing tariffs on Russian oil is fast approaching. This move has been met with mixed reactions globally, with some praising it as a necessary step and others condemning it as a reckless gamble. April 2, 2025 is the date set to rewrite the rules of global trade. As the clock ticks down, the world holds its breath, waiting to see what will happen when the deadline arrives. These tariffs have sent shockwaves through international markets. Investors are jittery and stock prices are plummeting. The volatility is unprecedented, and the financial world is on high alert. Uncertainty hangs heavy in the air, businesses are scrambling to adapt, and the economic landscape is shifting rapidly. The fog of uncertainty makes it difficult to predict what the future holds. The global community is on high alert, waiting to see how this economic drama will unfold. Leaders from around the world are meeting to discuss strategies and contingencies, trying to navigate these turbulent times. The stakes are incredibly high. This isn't just about tariffs, it's about the balance of power in the global economy. Every move is being carefully calculated, much like a high-stakes game of chess. This trade war, initiated by the former U.S. president, has far-reaching implications. It affects not just the U.S. and Russia, but the entire global supply chain. Countries are being forced to take sides, and alliances are being tested. It has the potential to disrupt long-standing alliances and reshape global power dynamics. Trade routes that have been established for decades are now in jeopardy, and the ripple effects could be felt for years to come. The world is watching, waiting, and wondering, who will be the winners and losers in this high-stakes game of economic chess? As the deadline approaches, the tension continues to build, and the outcome remains uncertain. Amidst this escalating tension, a significant development has caught the world's attention. Chinese President Xi Jinping has made a strategic move. He has reached out to India, extending an olive branch of cooperation. This engagement is highly symbolic. It comes at a time when global alliances are being tested. China and India, two Asian giants, have a complex relationship. Historical border disputes and a significant trade imbalance have often strained their ties. However, both countries recognize the need for stability in these uncertain times. Xi Jinping's outreach to India signals a potential shift in the geopolitical landscape. Could this be the beginning of a new chapter in their relationship? India, for its part, is treading cautiously. The memory of past border tensions is still fresh. The 2020 border clash, which resulted in casualties on both sides, cast a long shadow over bilateral relations. While India welcomes China's offer of increased trade, it remains wary of becoming overly reliant on its neighbor. The current trade imbalance heavily favors China. India is keen to protect its own industries and ensure a more equitable economic partnership. However, India also recognizes the strategic importance of maintaining open communication channels with China. The resumption of direct air services between the two countries, after a hiatus of nearly 5 years, is a clear signal of India's willingness to engage. China's offer to increase imports from India is a significant development. This move could help to alleviate some of the economic pressure that India is facing due to the looming U.S. tariffs. China is a global manufacturing powerhouse, while India has a vast and growing consumer market. Increased trade between the two countries could be mutually beneficial. It could help to boost economic growth and create jobs on both sides. However, there are challenges that need to be addressed. India has raised concerns about non-tariff barriers that restrict its exports to China. These barriers include technical regulations, sanitary and phytosanitary measures, and other bureaucratic hurdles. Shifting sands in the global market. The global oil market is watching these developments with bated breath. The intricate web of international oil trade is being tested like never before. With each passing day, the stakes grow higher, and the potential for disruption looms larger. The world is on edge, waiting to see how the major players will navigate these turbulent waters. Russia is a major oil exporter. Its vast reserves and extensive infrastructure make it a key player in the global energy market. The country's oil exports are a lifeline for its economy, providing essential revenue and geopolitical leverage. Any changes in Russia's oil export strategy can send ripples across the globe, affecting economies far and wide. The U.S. tariffs on Russian oil could create a supply shortage, leading to price volatility. These tariffs are part of a broader strategy to exert pressure on Russia, but they come with significant risks. A supply shortage could drive up prices, impacting not just the U.S., but also its allies and trading partners. The delicate balance of supply and demand in the oil market is at risk of being upended. China and India are both major consumers of oil. Their growing economies require vast amounts of energy to sustain their development. As two of the largest importers of oil, their actions in response to the US tariffs will be closely watched. Will they seek alternative sources, or will they continue to rely on Russian oil despite the potential consequences? How they respond to the US tariffs will have a significant impact on the global energy market. Business leaders and policymakers are engaged in intense discussions, analyzing the potential outcomes and strategizing their next moves. The decisions made in these boardrooms and government offices will shape the future of the global energy landscape. If they choose to increase their imports from Russia, it could offset some of the impact of the US sanctions. This move could provide Russia with a much-needed economic lifeline, allowing it to circumvent the effects of the tariffs. However, it would also signal a defiance of US policy, potentially straining diplomatic relations. However, this could also lead to further tension with the United States. The geopolitical landscape is already fraught with complexities, and any additional strain could have far-reaching consequences. The interplay between economic interests and political alliances is delicate, and any misstep could escalate into a larger conflict. The Biden administration has urged countries to reduce their reliance on Russian energy. This policy is part of a broader effort to promote energy security and reduce geopolitical vulnerabilities. By encouraging diversification of energy sources, the administration hopes to create a more stable and resilient global energy market. It remains to be seen how this complex geopolitical game will play out. The decisions made by key players in the coming months will have lasting implications for the global energy market and international relations. As the world watches with anticipation, the shifting sands of the global market continue to move, shaping the future in unpredictable ways. The dragon and the elephant, a delicate dance. The relationship between China and India is one of the most consequential in the world. They are the two most populous countries on the planet, they are both nuclear powers, and they are both vying for influence in Asia and beyond. Their relationship is complex and often fraught, they have a long history of mistrust and rivalry, they have fought a war, and they are currently engaged in a tense border standoff. However, there are also areas of cooperation. They are both members of the BRICS group of emerging economies. They are both working to combat climate change, and they are both seeking to promote global stability. Navigating the crosscurrents. The US tariffs have created a dilemma for both China and India. These tariffs, aimed at curbing the economic rise of China, have inadvertently placed India in a precarious position as well. On the one hand, they have an opportunity to strengthen their economic ties and reduce their reliance on the United States. This could lead to a new era of cooperation between the two Asian giants, fostering mutual growth and stability. On the other hand, they risk antagonizing the US and further escalating geopolitical tensions. The US has been a significant trading partner for both nations, and any move perceived as undermining US interests could lead to severe diplomatic fallout. China and India are both pursuing their own national interests. For China, this means continuing its Belt and Road Initiative and expanding its influence across Asia and beyond. For India, it involves bolstering its manufacturing sector and becoming a global economic powerhouse. They are both trying to secure their place in the world. This involves not only economic strategies but also military and technological advancements. Both nations are investing heavily in these areas to ensure they remain competitive on the global stage, and they are both trying to protect their economies from the fallout of the US tariffs. This includes seeking new markets, diversifying their trade portfolios, and implementing domestic policies to mitigate the impact of these tariffs. The coming months will be crucial. The decisions made during this period will not only affect their bilateral relations, but also have far-reaching consequences for the global economy. The decisions that China and India make will have a profound impact on the global economy and the balance of power in Asia. As the world watches, the actions of these two nations will shape the economic landscape for years to come, influencing everything from trade policies to geopolitical alliances. A new world order in the making? The world is at a crossroads. The old order, dominated by the United States, is crumbling. A new order is emerging, one in which China and India will play a leading role. The US tariffs are just one symptom of this larger shift. The global economy is becoming increasingly multipolar, power is shifting from west to east, and new alliances are being formed. The future is uncertain. But one thing is clear, the world is changing, and China and India are at the center of that change.